claim here is going to be that bidding your true value is a dominant strategy in a second price auction. And it's worth contrasting that with what happens in a first price auction. In a first price auction, you would not want to bid your true value, because if you win the first price auction at that bid, you pay your true value and you get zero surplus. You always want to shade your bid a little bit below your true value, but not in a second price auction. Second price auction, the bid you should turn in is simply exactly what you valued the object at. Question is why? To see that, let's imagine alternatives. First, consider bidding more than your value. Now, this clearly seems like a bad idea, but let's see exactly why it's a bad idea. So why would it matter if you bid more than your value rather than bidding your value? When can that actually affect your payoff? Well, it's only going to matter if your bid is the highest bid, so it's got to be greater than the maximum of everyone else's bid, and that highest of the others' bids is greater than your value, because that's the only time that you would win with a bid above your value when you would not have won with a bid at your value. Okay? But think about what winning means in that case. If you win here, what you've done is you've won by paying more than your value for the item. So you've won the item, but you've actually lost the auction because you paid too much. So you never want to bid more than your value, and that's no surprise. What perhaps is a surprise is that in a second price auction, you also never want to bid less than your value. Let's think about that logic. When would it matter if you bid less than your value rather than your true value? Well, it's only going to matter if you would have won the item by bidding your true value and you don't win by bidding below your value. So it only matters when the maximum of the other's bids is somewhere between your value and your low below value bid. But think about what that means. It means that you could have won had you bid your true value, and you would have paid the maximum of the other's bids. Remember, you don't pay your bid, you pay the maximum of the other's bids. So in this case, you lost the auction when you should have won it. You've given up some surplus that you didn't need to give up. So what we've got now is you don't want to bid more than your value, you don't want to bid less than your value, you just want to bid your value. A very simple strategy here at a second price auction. And notice that in doing this, we never talked about how others are bidding. It doesn't matter what others are doing, how they're coming up with their bidding strategies. You always want to bid your true value. That's exactly saying that you're bidding your true value is a dominant strategy in a second price auction, and that was our claim. That's what's going to happen in second price auctions. Everybody should bid their true value. So who wins in the second price auction? Well, suppose we line these values up from highest to lowest and think about the bids. Everyone's bid's just their value. So clearly the person with the highest value has the highest bid and they win. But remember, they don't pay their bid, they pay the second highest bid, which is the second highest value. So in a second price auction, the item is sold to the person who values it the most and they pay the second highest value. Notice that that was the same outcome we had in the ascending bid auction. The form of the auction was completely different, but the outcome is exactly the same. These two auctions are equivalent, second price auctions and ascending bid auctions. We're going to see that both of these auctions are used. You see ascending bid auctions all the time on eBay, for example. Second price auctions are actually also often used, and they're used far more than you might imagine. For example, Google uses a version of the second price auction in selling its keywords. That's how they make all those billions of dollars. And we'll come to exactly how they do that a bit later.